For the last 20 years, Kazakhstan provides more than 600 million US dollar technical and humanitarian assistance. Knowing this, Kazakhstan government decided to create a special agency as an operator of official development assistance, ODA. Kazakhstan originally must play the role in international development and especially in the region as a donor country. This is the soft power of Kazakhstan foreign policy, and ODA is one of the instruments of cooperation between neighbor countries. It's a win-win process, so we help our neighbor countries and our neighbor countries help us.
Kazakhstan has been pursuing a friendly and peaceful relationship with the world from day one. Kazakhstan Agency of International Development is one of its diplomatic tools. And to learn more about it, we will talk with the chairman of KazAID, Arken Arystanov. Thank you very much for your time. Could you tell us about the role and significance of Kazakhstan and KazAID as a new donor and the priorities in terms of geography of assistance?
You know, the thing that Kazakhstan became a donor country since 2006, when the World Bank make a characteristic of Kazakhstan as a country with above average income country. So all the countries that have more than 5,000 US dollar per capita from 2006 automatically became the donors. But of course, Kazakhstan played a dual role because we still play also role of recipient country, because we are receiving assistance, technical assistance from Japan, from United States, from Korea, Turkey, and other countries. But at the same time, for the last 20 years, Kazakhstan provides more than 600 million US dollar technical and humanitarian assistance. Knowing this, Kazakhstan government decided to create a special agency as an operator of official development assistance, ODA. This becomes the Kazakhstan Agency of International Development under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And why Kazakhstan became the donor? You know that GDP of Kazakhstan more than 200 billion US dollar. And if we compare this GDP with our neighbor countries, it's much bigger than, for instance, in Kyrgyzstan or in Tajikistan is less than 10 billion US dollar. And that is why Kazakhstan originally must play the role in international development and especially in the region as a donor country. Mm-hmm. And in 2020, government decided to create KazAID. And KazAID for last 3 years have, let's say, formation stage. So we are trying to elaborate the policy, methodology, to hire qualified personnel and develop our own programs.
Do you have any priorities in terms of geography of assistance by KazAID? I know that it's like you said, it's a fairly new organization.
Yeah, and first of all, we decided, according to the decree of President about the ODA for 2021-2025, the geographical priorities are Central Asian countries, especially Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Afghanistan. And this is very logical because these countries are our neighbors, and we want to create regional security in our region in order to attract foreign investments, in order to organize more effective trade relations between our countries. And ODA, it's not only assistance it's more like cooperation between countries and experience of exchange of experience of the countries. Of course, our priorities also can be spread to African Union countries, Latin America or South Asia. And we are receiving the requests from these countries, and we are thinking about developing the programs in the future for these regions also.
You mentioned about the formation stage of KazAID. My next question would be about the legal and policy framework for the operation of the official development assistance system in Kazakhstan and the division of responsibilities.
It's a very important question because Kazakhstan create the special agency for international development this is only one agency in the region. No other countries create in the CIS region created such agency. And in 2014, Parliament adopted the special law about official development assistance. And as I told already, in 2020, government adopted the decree about the creation of a special operator of ODA, KazAID. This framework allowed us to start our operations on systematic basis because, as I told you before, during 20 years, we provided technical and humanitarian assistance to other countries, but this not fixed by the international community, especially the committee of OECD, who is responsible for the statistic of ODA from different countries. And now we are from 2015, we are the member of this committee on cooperation of OECD, and we are reporting the statistic about ODA every year. For instance, ODA for 2022 reached more than 37 million US dollar. And this composed, of course, not only technical assistance, but also multilateral cooperation. So our donation to international organizations, our humanitarian aid, our educational grants, and others.
I will jump into my fifth question, because you mentioned OECD. Could you tell us about the benefits and risks of Kazakhstan participation as a donor country in key global issues like, regional development issues, SDG Center in Humanitarian Hub, and Kazakhstan's entry into the OECD committee?
Yes, Kazakhstan, of course, it was not logical for ordinary people that Kazakhstan donate resources to other countries if we have many local problems in energy sector, in ecological issues, and many others. But at the same time, as I told you, that Kazakhstan must play the role in international community and put their effort for the regional security, for regional development, and that is why following the standards, the high standards of developed countries like the members of OECD organization is very important. In 2023, government of Kazakhstan and OECD signed the agreement about the roadmap of development of ODA in Kazakhstan. And this will help us to increase our policy, our standards of execution of monitoring and the effectiveness of projects. But at the same time, as I already mentioned, that the ordinary society, experts, analytic, journalists, sometimes don't understand that why we must help other countries if we have our internal problems. And this is very, very difficult issues not only for Kazakhstan but also for other countries. We discussed this issue with experts from JICA, Japanese agency, from USAID, German agency for cooperation, and all these agencies face the same problem in order to explain to citizens why their countries must help to other countries. And according to the General Assembly of United Nations resolution, all developed countries must help to other developing countries as much as 0.7 of GNI of their income. And not all countries, of course, follow this and reach this indicator. Only few countries, like Scandinavian countries, Germany, Turkey, Luxembourg, already put more than 0.7% of GNI to the help of to other countries. But many countries are forced to achieve this goal. And in comparison, for instance, with Kazakhstan, I can show the example of Estonia, a small country, but they provide more than 50 million US dollar assistance to other countries. And for instance, Azerbaijan, also their GDP is less than in Kazakhstan, but they provide more than 40 million US dollar ODA every year. I think this depends on the policy of marketing, let's say, because we must explain to the society, to the government, to the members of parliament, that it is foreign policy, and this is the soft power of Kazakhstan foreign policy. And ODA is one of the instruments of cooperation between neighbor countries. Let's see one example. Last year, you know that we faced a problem with water solutions with Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
And of course, this issue is very important for both countries. But how to solve this issue? Of course, we set for negotiations with our colleagues from Kyrgyzstan, and we find the solution. But at the same time, we help with Kyrgyzstan and we provide them fuel, wheat, grain as assistance. And also we elaborated some programs for project management, for digitalization and education in medical specialties. And we are providing also the educational grants to Kyrgyzstan. So it's a win-win process. So we help our neighbor countries, and our neighbor countries help us to solve some issues like water issue, for instance.
From what you said, I gather that the benefits are that if you have stable and secure relationship with your neighbors, it benefits you because you are able to work on other things, knowing that you have a secure and stable environment to work and flourish.
Right. And a good example is Afghanistan.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that
because
too.
Afghanistan now receiving only the humanitarian aid. And of course, their stability in the region is quite highly depend on the stability in Afghanistan. And we are very keen to develop cooperation in the region. And you know that Kazakh Telecom, our provider of mobile and internet, is the main provider of internet in Afghanistan. Turkmenistan, for instance, providing the energy to Afghanistan, and we providing grain, export of wheat to Afghanistan. Every year now we are organizing the business forum with the businesses of entrepreneurs from Afghanistan in order to develop trade in the region. And this is very important because you see what's happening now in the Middle East. And this is, I mean, good example that it is necessary to predict this situation and to provide all necessary assistance to the countries in order to avoid such conflicts.
You said that it's very important to explain the necessity of such organizations as KazAID to government, to the public of Kazakhstan. Could you tell us maybe there are some measures in place to increase this awareness, to inform the public?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think this is very, very difficult issues, but very important. And we developed a communication strategy of KazAID in order to explain to different audience the key messages that we want to explain. And first of all, let's say the student community. So now we are providing the methodology how to teach the political sciences and to explain that what is ODA, what's the role of Kazakhstan in international society, why Kazakhstan must provide the assistance to neighbor countries or to other countries. And we organizing also briefings for journalists and for experts, explaining again the role of Kazakhstan and the role of ODA in regional security, and explain that this is help to defend the national interests of Kazakhstan itself. And if we are talking about the national branding, President of Kazakhstan on the second meeting of Kurultai announced that KazAID must be the provider of national branding in the region and in the world. And what's the national branding? The national branding means that what the country can provide as input to the international community. And that is why we explain what's the advantage Kazakhstan has, especially, for instance, in digitalization, education, medical services, government management, and others. And we want to share and make this as a flagship initiative of KazAID in developing cooperation with other countries. We plan the interview in local newspapers and also distribute the information outside of Kazakhstan and using our information partners in other countries. For instance, now we are discussing with our colleagues from Kyrgyzstan what connections can be between Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan in sphere of ODA.
You mentioned internet provided by Kazakh Telecom to Afghanistan. Could you provide us with other examples where Kazakh technologies, I don't know, maybe digital tools like eGov were,
Right. And you know that Kazakhstan is very advanced in the digitalization and especially in e-government. And that is why during the visit of our president to Tajikistan, we provide the three components of e-government to our colleagues from Tajikistan. But to provide solutions is not enough, because Tajikistan, for instance, needs also the IT specialist, and that is why the government decided to provide also 100 vouchers in order to prepare the specialists who will introduce the e-government in Tajikistan. And the same, we provide our services for Kyrgyzstan. And now other countries also interested in our IT solutions, because the fintech in Kazakhstan is very developed, and all foreigners are very excited when they're using our products like Kaspi Bank, for instance. They are very surprised that our result is more effective than in Europe sometimes. Then during the few minutes you can register your car, you can get the e-government services through your mobile, and you don't need to go to the bank in order to make the transactions, and you even don't need the credit card, so you just need your mobile and the applications, and you can do, and this make your life easy.
You mentioned foreign policy and soft power. I just wanted to express my opinion. I think instituting the KazAID in 2020, 30 years since the independence of Kazakhstan, I think it aligns with our strategy as we position ourselves in the world. Could you tell us about the educational part? Because you mentioned a few times 100 vouchers for Tajikistan students to learn IT solutions. Are we strong in other areas besides IT? Because when I talk to many foreigners who come to Kazakhstan, and they get surprised with Kaspi, with eGov, and they always compare us. I don't know if it's a correct one, but they always say Kazakhstan is like a South Korea of Central Asia. It's very quick, it's very high tech, and people are very tech savvy, even like people older than 60 years old. So could you tell us, maybe there are like cultural programs, art students who can come to Kazakhstan and learn, via KazAID?
Yes, this year we elaborated our own programs, educational programs for digitalization, government services, diplomacy. We called it Dostik diplomacy, and also we elaborated program Avytsena. And Avytsena is a program for the medical students. So this is the academician exchange, and sometimes students can receive the place in the university, but they cannot come because they don't have money in order for the flight to Kazakhstan. And KazAID can help them in this area. Another opportunity is, I told you that we provide more than 550 grants, educational grants, and more than 32 students from the 32 countries participate in these programs, and many students from African Union. And this is very important because we have a request from the African Union in order to increase grants for education, especially in medical specialties and digitalization. And it's not a secret, but for instance, dental services in Kazakhstan is also like already as a hub for the region, because even from Germany, from US, from Asian countries are coming to Kazakhstan and using the high technology in dental services, but the price is very reasonable.
I'm sure that to supervise the work of KazAID is not an easy one, especially when you're starting it and it's just starting to work, and it's only been 4 years. I know that you've worked in the government, you've served as an ambassador. How your expertise and your experience can benefit KazAID?
Yes, you are right. I joined KazAID just 1 year ago on 9th of March. And it was a challenge for me because KazAID is not in comparison, for instance, like a department of MFA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's not only letters, political issues and negotiations. A lot of issues connected to the finance, administrative work. And because I have experience as a chairman of a national company and working as a chairman of the agency in the government, I have combined this with my diplomatic experience in order to create a good team, because it is necessary to have a very good team of in your staff, because sometimes you need a good negotiator. At the same time, you need good people solving the financial issues, even some real estate issues. And we are working with all governmental bodies on different issues, education, legal issues. For instance, now we are chosen as an operator for the construction of school in Turkey, and a lot of issues with the procurement, with providing services abroad of Kazakhstan, because our budget codex is not defined that Kazakhstan can provide grants outside of Kazakhstan. In our legislation, we can only receive grants. We cannot provide outside. And only the law about the official development assistance mentioned that Kazakhstan can provide grants, loans, technical assistance, make infrastructure projects outside of Kazakhstan. Mm-hmm. And even Samruk Kazna, they cannot do business outside of Kazakhstan. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And your experience as an ambassador, I wanted to know if KazAID has any partnership programs with maybe other agencies, like you mentioned, in Germany and United States. Are there any programs of
because of
such kind?
I was ambassador in Singapore. Then I talked with my colleagues from Singapore, and they proposed a program, and now we are developing this joint program with Singaporean Civil College about the education for government servicemen of Central Asian countries. And this Dostik Civilization program will be launched on the 1st of April this year. So my diplomatic experience helped me to invite my colleagues from Singapore. But also we have many offers from Sweden, Switzerland, United States, Japan, Korea, for elaborating joint programs. For instance, with Korean agency, we elaborated program for the medical education of specialist experts from Central Asian countries. So they have one model of training in Korea, and then one model in Kazakhstan. With Japan, we are discussing now program of disaster management, and this is very urgent for us in Almaty. So this seminar will be conducted in Almaty on 16th of April for Central Asian and Caucasian countries. So this initiative also is jointly supported by KazAID. But of course, on the early stage of development, KazAID is restricted and limited by the budget, because the budget must come from the Republican budget, and that is why we, of course, must consider the economic situation in the country. And that is why, as I told you, that we are conducting 3 annual programs: Dostik Civilization, Dostik Digitalization, Dostik Diplomacy, and Avicenna, and other projects on demand. For instance, we have working also with non-governmental organizations, and they provide us different projects, like, for instance, for me, interesting project is Green School. It's called Green School. This project devoted to teach the school students how to divide the waste, how to elaborate, and using the application, they can see how many trees they save. Practices this policy. And many other interesting projects, and what also very interesting, that it is necessary to provide this information to international society. That is why it's very important to participate in international regional forums, and I participated as a moderator on 5th General Director meeting of ESCAP countries. And this, the headquarter based in Bangkok, and we discuss with our colleagues from Indonesia, China, Thailand, Philippines, and other countries how to develop ODA programs. And this is very interesting because one policy have developed countries like Germany, France, Switzerland, and Japan, and what experience of new donors like Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Kazakhstan. And this is very interesting because we can share our experience, we can learn what can be done in our countries from other practice. We use the best practice of other agencies.
And my last question will be, if you've met an alien and he asked you about KazAID, how would you characterize it in 3 words? What are like the key features of this organization for you?
I can use 3 words. The young organization, very creative, and ambitious.
I wish you good luck, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for the interview.